Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
Yeah! I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.
Here we are with 10 more games, 10 more ties, top 100 list of 2012. Now, every year I get more and more excited the farther we go down on the list. Here we are still, still not in the top 50 games, but these are still really, really great games. Every game on the top 100 list is a fantastic game. And one of the things I want to say about the ones that I'm talking about today is many times I will trash Euro games, games with a lot of resource management and not much luck. And people get on my case, say, you don't like Euro games, why do you even review them? Folks, there's a lot of Euro games that I really love. And I would consider 8 of the 10 games on today's list to be Euro games. But there's something that's different about these and other Euro games that I have trashed. 1, these are fun. 2, I think they have a theme that's connected with the game. So let's get going. Here we go.
Number 17, Pandemic.
Okay. Yes, this probably would have been a better tie to have worn with First and Goal. That's what you get for planning. But we're here to talk about Pandemic. Pandemic is a really fun game. The thing about Pandemic is, if you watched last week's list, you'll know that Flashpoint Fire Rescue came in at 75, and here's Pandemic coming in at 70. So I guess that would solve the debate over which I like better. But as you can see, it's really, really close, and I'd be willing to play either one. I've always liked Pandemic for the simple fact the theme is just very easy to get people into. Hey, let's go rescue the world. What puts Pandemic a little bit ahead of Flashpoint, one of the reasons is the expansion. The expansion really added a lot to Pandemic. Multiple roles, the fact that one person could be a bad guy, I'm not so keen on that, but the multiple roles and the many ways to make the game harder. I am convinced that Pandemic, when you add the mutant virus and when you add in some virulent strains and play on the hardest level, that it is the hardest cooperative game in existence. Unless someone makes one that's just there to make people lose. I mean, I guess you can make one harder, but this one is the hardest. And I've sometimes get emails from people that say, we beat Pandemic on hard all the time. Well, I would suggest that either you are playing a rule wrong or lying because it's really difficult on the hard level. But as it is, it's a really entertaining, fun game. I love the theme, love it all together. Pandemic.
Number 69, Coliseum.
Coliseum goes on my list for being one of the most unappreciated games there is. You know, Wolfgang Kramer elicits such high respect from people. El Grande. Yes, he did El Grande, and he did a bunch of other great games that people like, the Col and Java and all those. But Coliseum is a game that I get a blast every time I play it. I mean, set aside the absolutely stunning components that Days of Wonder did with this one, the game just feels very thematic. I'm putting on different shows. Stuff gets destroyed during the course of a show. I have to go, and I like the auctioning in this one. It's not a heavy kind of auctioning. It's just simply I need to get the supplies I need, and it has a very fun, interesting trading phase. Lots of different decisions. No game I've ever played turns out the same. This is just a very fantastic game. Just played it recently and was reminded about how much I have fun with this game. An easy one for me to add to the list, and a great Euro game, Coliseum.
Number 68, Office Caesar.
Ave Caesar is one of my favorite racing games. It's been on the list all the years that I've done it, for 8 years straight, because it is just a fun game. I like the fact that it comes with these plastic coins that exist for no other reason than at some point during the game, you stand up and you slap your coin down and you say, Ave Caesar! I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You're supposed to say, Ave Caesar! With enthusiasm. Standing on a chair if possible. Anyhow, the game itself is more about these little chariot guys who you're racing around a very nice, cool-looking chariot board, and you're blocking other people and really ticking other people off, and you do all this in 45 minutes. It's a very fast racing game, very interactive racing game, very fun, works especially well when played with a full complement of 6 players. Ave Caesar.
Number 7, Parasite.
Here's one of the heavier Euro games on my list, and I don't mean just by this, oh, this is a heavy box, but that's because it's full of expansion boards and extra pieces that I have. I got cards that I made custom for this game. In fact, Power Grid is one of the most tricked out games I own. Now, I don't know why. I mean, usually I like to trick out the number 1 games on my list, I suppose, but there just is so much stuff for Power Grid because there's so many people who are fans of this game that frankly looks really boring. Will I turn the knob or not? You know, but the game itself is very interesting. It's about providing power to the United States or Germany or Korea or China or Spain or Italy or wherever you might be with whatever map, but all the maps play the same. And you're bidding for power plants. You're bidding for the resources to run those power plants. Some need trash, some need uranium, some need wood and coal. And it's a very tense game. It's kind of a thinky game, but at the same time, everything you do makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of math. How much am I going to go? How much do I need to pay to go from this city to the other city? But it's not like you have to sit there with really tough decisions. Instead, it's more you have to make your decisions and then try to be as economic as you can. It's a very good economic game, one that I enjoy. I like all the extra maps, and even though it can be kind of lengthy with 6 players, it does work well with 6, works well with 3. It's best with 4, though.
Number 66, Manhattan.
You know, I'm a little mind-boggled that Manhattan didn't make the People's Choice list at all. Didn't even hit the top 250. And I can only surmise that that's because it's not really in print anymore, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, Settlers of Catan won the Spiel des Jahres in 1995. Still in print, still everywhere. Manhattan won it in 1994. Not in print. I mean, you can find copies of it, and you should. This is a great, I mean, listen to that. As I shake the box, there's plastic towers, and you build these towers over the course of the game. And if you play with the awesome variant of little monsters that can come and destroy the buildings, it's a totally different game, but fun. And it's so easy. Everybody can play it. It's a game that appeals to everybody. It appeals visually. It appeals easily. I mean, we're talking an hour game here. And there's strategy and tactics, mostly tactics, but back and forth, strong interaction. Andres Seyforth, known for Puerto Rico, he should be known for this great game. Somebody needs to get this back in print. Manhattan.
Number 65, Sail.
Here's another tie that probably makes my top 10 ties of all time with seafood. Oh, I do love seafood. Red Lobster, all you can eat shrimp. I wait every year. I can only go out to eat once there, my wife, but and I get to go again in 2013. But I digress. For Sale. Now, this is the 3rd time, if you've been watching all the Top 100 lists, that you have seen this, because it has shown up on the People's Choice. It has shown up on Melodies, although both of those was higher or lower on the list than mine. I just like it. It's so simple. It's so easy to play. It's light. It's portable. Griffin Games did a good job at reprinting the Uberplay reprint of the original game. But the cards, it's simple. I'm buying houses with really nice artwork on them, and then I sell those houses for checks with kind of boring artwork on them. But the whole game itself is very simple. We're talking a 20-minute game, and yet when you're done, you feel like you played a decent game, and it plays between 3 to 6 players, back and forth, lots of fast, fun times. Not much more I can say about it, except it is a game. It's one of those games that I think everybody should own. You should, because you can play this anytime, anywhere, easy to carry, works well in almost every situation. For Sale.
Number 64, Flash Doors.
This is the only game on the list that was not on my list last year, today, of the 10, Flash Duel. Now, this is very obviously based on En Garde from Reiner Knizia, but this is done by David Sirlin, and that's a whole different situation. But this has all the characters from Puzzle Strike and from Yomi inside it. There are, I think, 20 different characters. Each character has special powers and special cards that they can play. The game allows you to play even in co-op mode, where one person controls a giant monster and everyone else fights that person, but essentially it's just a very quick duel game, and you dance in, dance out, dance in, dance out. If you've played Puzzle Strike and Yomi and other games like that genre, and there's a couple others that there's at least one other I'll talk about later on in this list. But Flash Duel, I like it, and it's on my list because of its simplicity. Sometimes I don't want to play a game that takes 30, 40, 50, a minute, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes I just want to play a really fast, quick game. And this is one of the fastest. I mean, this game can be literally over within 5-10 minutes if you're not careful, or longer. The basic game without any powers was interesting enough, but once they had the special powers in, I'm hooked. I do like the artwork, these little chibi little guys, and it's a fun little cool theme, so easily added to my list.
Number 63, Words of Vegas.
Of Vegas. This is another great Euro game set in the city of Las Vegas, and what you're doing in this game is you're purchasing different areas and trying to control them, but unlike many games in this genre, you are rolling lots of dice. Now the dice can be kind of lucky, but the fact is the luck in this game is basically as much as you want to be in this game. Do you want to dice off against somebody else? That's fine, but it's your choice. Do you want to try to take a risky takeover of somebody else's property? Well, you can, but that's your choice. And so while there's lots of die rolling in this game, and the die rolling can be pretty neat as you try to take over someone else's places by having a higher die roll than they are, you have to pay to do that. You have to take precious actions to do that, and you have to take a chance. And you have to kind of guess the best odds. And so I like this game. It takes a lot of aspects of other games, but it ties them together into a pretty neat game. There's not a lot of love for the box cover that I've seen, but the game itself looks fantastic when laid out. And when I first saw it, I saw dice all over the board of different colors, and I said, what is this? I must own it. And now that I have it, I must keep it.
Number 62, Tribune.
Tribune is another game that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. It's by Karl-Heinz Schmiel, and he's most well known for one of the first games he designed, Die Macher. And that is a great game, although it didn't make my top 100. But Tribune has made my top 100. It's been on my top 100 for a while. In fact, it even increased a little bit this year from last year, just because the more I think about this, the more I like it. This is an area control worker placement type game, but especially when you have the expansion, it adds some really cool stuff. But this game is very brutal in your face, but really comes across with a strong theme. In this game, you're trying to control the patricians, you're trying to control the plebeians, you're trying to control different groups of people, and you have assassins, and you have different things going on, and you have this feeling of this undercurrent of Roman politics going on, and then just a straight out and out battle back and forth as you try to do different things and take cards to attack other players. This feels like a bunch of fillers put together in a box, but it comes together in a really good way, and it's really tied together well by the artwork on the board, by the artwork on the box. This might not be one that many of you have tried because it didn't show up on the People's Choice list again at all, but it certainly is one that you should take a look at if you get a chance of it. It has a lot of fun. It's very similar to other drier worker placement games, but I think this one has a much stronger theme. A great Euro, Tribune.
Number 61, Pillar of the Woods.
All right, last one for today, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Pillars of the Earth. Pillars of the Earth is a worker placement game which has tried to be replicated. In fact, there's other games that have similarities to it. Stone Age comes to mind, and that I don't even want to mention the name of the other game. That's just not that good. But there are games that come out like this one, but none had the thematic overtones that Pillars of the Earth did. Yes, I suppose if you take the theme out of Pillars of the Earth, there's not a whole lot that is superbly interesting about it. if it was just moving cubes and stuff around on the board. But in this game, it just makes sense. I'm getting wood, I'm getting iron, I'm getting glass, and I'm using those to build parts of the cathedral. And in case that point wasn't hammered home to you during the course of the game, the cathedral is actually built on the board with different wooden pieces that build a cathedral, which is there for no other reason than to serve as a time mechanism for the rounds of the game. There's also a pretty neat worker pulling mechanic where you have workers pulled from a bag and you can pay to use them right away. And there is some luck and randomness to that. And there's also cards with special powers. And there's also an expansion, which I think is nice, not completely necessary. But it all comes together and just brings forth that theme of building the cathedral. I've heard tell that it's a little bit like the actual book Pillars of the Earth. I haven't read that book, but I do like that this gives me an idea of, yes, it's another building a church/castle type game, but this is one of the first ones where I really felt like it was working, and I felt like you could see the whole process from getting the materials to getting them there to building the cathedral. A great game, a good Euro game, Pillars of the Earth.
Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.